Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're gonna do something really simple, really easy. This is basically my go-to everyday makeup routine. I don't wear makeup every day. Usually I only wear makeup whenever I'm going to work or if I need to step out of the house and I want to look presentable, a little bit more than presentable, because this is more than just a little bit of makeup. But this is what I do whenever I want to, look really put together but not try so hard, because I don't do any eyeshadow. I just put a little bit of bronzer in the crease. I apply some really natural lashes. The face makeup is probably the most heavy out of everything, but it's not really heavy. It's very lightweight. It just looks like more than your no makeup look, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you turn on the notification and like this video if you enjoyed it. It's early, I'm having my coffee and I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead and get into my go-to everyday makeup routine. As you can see, the brows are done. I do have a brow routine up on my channel already. I can't remember how long ago I filmed it, but I don't think much has actually changed, if I'm being honest. My brow routine stays pretty consistent, pretty much the same. Every now and then I'll change a couple products here and there, but for the most part I do the exact same thing. So if it changes, it doesn't change much at all. So if you want, I'll leave that linked in the description box so you can go back and watch that if you're interested. I'm going to take a little bit of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Beige. And I'm just going to apply that on the eyelids. And then I'm going to blend that out with the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. It's the same concealer that I used to carve my brows. It's not super brightening or anything, so it's going to just do enough with the eyes to cancel out any discoloration and also create a blank canvas for the bronzer that we're going to pop in the crease. This is going to be the simplest eye look ever. I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Saddle and just a fluffy blending brush. This is the Morphe M441. And I'm just going to tap that into the bronzer and just apply that into the crease. I'm not going to be super neat or anything. I really just want to put some definition back in there since we applied that concealer. This is the only color we're going to be putting in our crease and on our eyes other than our inner corner highlight. So you don't have to be really neat with this. After that, I do go in with a little bit of eyeliner. My favorite eyeliner right now is the ColourPop BFF liquid eyeliner pen, but I just ran out of the one that I had. I ordered some more. I placed a ColourPop order a couple of nights ago, so that's usually what I use. But for today, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Tip eyeliner, which is pretty decent. It's not my favorite, but it works. And I'm just going to be drawing a line on my upper lash line just because I'm going to be applying some falsies. So I just want to put this down just so that the lashes blend a little bit better and it hides that lash band. Mascara and lashes I do last just because I'm going to be applying powders to my face and I don't want any powder to fall on my lashes. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This has become one of my favorite drugstore primers. I use it every day and I really like it. And then press it in. Just like that. And then for my everyday foundation, I've really been loving the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I'm in the shade 460. It's very lightweight. It has really good coverage, and it doesn't get cakey or heavy or feel gross throughout the day. Most of the time, if I'm wearing this foundation to work and I get ready in the morning, I don't take it off till later that evening. So I wear it for at least 10 hours and it always looks and feels really good right before I take it off. So it's a really good foundation. I'm going to take my e.l.f. Total Complexion Face Sponge, I think it's what it's called, and we're just gonna blend that out. Probably didn't need this much foundation, but it will. For our bronzer slash contour, we're going to be using the Wet n Wild Contour Makeup Sticks in the shade Wears Walnut. I've really been enjoying like cream contouring bronzing lately. I just feel like it looks so much more natural, and my skin sometimes can be a little dry, and I just feel like this looks so much prettier. So I've been using the contour stick to bronze and contour a little bit, and then I just go over and set it with powder. But this stick just blends out so easy that it makes cream contouring effortless. Like, I don't even have to try. And then to blend that out, my favorite brush to blend out the contour is the Real Techniques sculpting brush. This is what it looks like, and the reason why I like this brush is because I don't have to rub. I just kind of press the product in just like this, so it doesn't move around any of the foundation that I've already put down, and it keeps the product right where I placed it, so it doesn't like go everywhere, but it just blends out like so easy. And I feel like it's the perfect shape for like this area right here, like for the cheekbones. This is like the only brush that I like to use to blend out the cream bronzer. The only area where I do kind of bring it or drag it instead of patting is underneath the chin and the jawline, just so that I can spread out that product and drag it down a little bit. Even around the nose, I'll just pat. Now it's time to go in with concealer, just to kind of highlight some of the high points of our face. And I just go in with a little bit right underneath the eyes, and I'm using the same e.l.f. Camo, the Hydrating Camo Concealer. And then I'm going to put some on the bridge of my nose, the center of my forehead, right on the sides here, and a tiny bit on the chin. And then my favorite sponge to blend out the concealer is the e.l.f. Concealer Sponge. I think that's what it's called. The sponge just fits in the areas where I need to blend perfect, and because it's not so big, it's not as big as the other sponge that I use, it doesn't like go where I don't want it to go. It's pretty precise, or it's more precise with where I want to apply the concealer and where I want to blend it. So that's why I like using this one, but it just blends everything so easy. This concealer just blends out so nice, and it looks so good. And then I'm gonna go in and set the concealer, and I'm just using some loose powder. This is actually a mixture of two powders that I've been using lately. The first one is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Setting Powder, and I believe this is the translucent one. And then I also use the CoverGirl True Blend Minerals Loose Powder. The CoverGirl one is in the shade Banana, and I mixed the two because the Wet n Wild one I feel like is too light and the CoverGirl one is too yellow, so I just mix them together. So I just go in and lightly set underneath the eyes and everywhere where I applied concealer. I don't necessarily bake, but I kind of do. Like, I leave it underneath the eyes for a little bit, but once I go in and set the rest of my face, which is right after I set my concealer, I go in and blend it away. So it doesn't sit on the face very long, but long enough to, you know, do what it's supposed to do. And then after that, I go in with the NYX No Filter finishing powder. This is in the shade Light Beige. And I'll take this big Equate powder brush and just lightly powder my face. Everywhere else, like, I don't use much powder at all. And then just kind of brush away any of the loose setting powder that's still underneath the eyes. So after I have set underneath the eyes and the rest of my face, I go in with a little bit of setting mist. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and I just apply a tiny bit of that just to kind of melt that powder into the skin so that I don't look powdery. This is just an extra step that I like to take. I feel like it just makes everything look so much more like flawless, and like it's not just setting on top of my face. So it makes my skin feel and look less powdery before I go in with like my powder, bronzer, blush, highlight, and all that good stuff. I'll still go back in and set the face after I'm done with my makeup. This is just an extra step that I like to take just because I feel like it makes a difference. I don't know if it does or if it doesn't, but to me it does, so I just do it. While that setting mist is drying, now I'll go in and do my lashes, and I'm just gonna curl them a tiny bit, not a whole lot, because I'm gonna be applying falsies, so they don't need to be like super curled, they just need to be out of the way a little bit. And then for mascara, I'm gonna be using the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. And I just want to apply a really light coat. I'm also going to apply mascara to the bottom lashes. I'm going to go in and apply lashes. Okay, lashes are on. The glue is still drying a little bit, but they're stuck on there, so I think we're good. And this is probably a little bit too much for some people, but for me, this is a very, very natural lash. And for powder bronzer, I'm going to be using the same Anastasia bronzer in the shade Saddle and this Real Techniques 007 brush. And I'm just going to lightly go around the perimeters of my face, basically everywhere where I applied the contour stick. I'm not really like precise about this because, you know, it's just my everyday makeup. It's not like it has to be perfect. I mean, it has to look good because I'm gonna be out in public, but it doesn't have to be so perfect. And I'll go in with highlight. For highlight, I think I'm going to use Becca's Opal today. This is an old highlight, but it's still one of my favorites. I'm going to take a little bit of that on this little pencil brush. This is a BH Cosmetics number 12 brush, and pop that right into the inner corners as our inner corner highlight. I'm going to take some on the tip of my nose and also down the center. Just a tiny bit, just like that. And then with a different brush, this is another BH Cosmetics brush. This is the 101. I take a little bit of that, apply it to the Cupid's bow, right above the brows. Not too much, just a little bit. Pull that out. And then I use this brush to apply to my cheekbones. And I've been concentrating the highlight more to like just right here instead of taking it all the way up. I don't know why, I just feel like it looks a little bit better on me instead of taking it all the way up there, just like applying it right here to like the high point, which is what you're supposed to do with highlight anyway. But I always like to get all the way up the side of my like cheekbone, and I just really been loving the way it looks, just like right there. That's too much. We're gonna go in and blend that away a little bit with a little bit of blush, but yeah, I just focus it like right there and then not take it like all the way up like I used to, but that's a little bit too much. And so I'm gonna take this Mikasa F200 brush, and it's just a stippling brush, and put that right in there and just apply it to our cheeks. I'm gonna go in and set the face, and today I'm using the Revolution Pro Hydra Matte Fixing Spray with hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. Now I'm gonna go in and set the brows with the ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. This is the shade Soft Black. Brows are set. Now we can go in and do our lip color. Honestly, for lips, I haven't been doing much just because, you know, we have to wear a mask whenever we leave the house. But for today, since I'm going to be home and I'm not really going to be leaving the house, I'm going to apply the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick in this shade Send Nudes, because we're not going anywhere, so. I forgot how pigmented this is. I think I'm gonna apply a little bit of lip liner because that just kind of washed my lips out. I'm gonna go in with the Vivid Belleza Ultimate Lip Liner in the shade Crumb Cake. It's a nice nude. Alright guys, and I think that is it. We are done. This is my everyday go-to makeup routine. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications before you leave. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.